All right, we are officially recording, and I definitely know we are still live on Facebook. So fantastic, everybody. Thank you absolutely so much for joining. I know we are hitting the 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock straight up, whatever time zone that you're on. First and foremost, want to absolutely welcome you guys tonight. This is incredible information. And what I always know is, as an adult, we get so easily stuck in our day-to-day operations and our day-to-day habits, and we forget about all of our new learning that's in front of us. And I think all of us, as we're learning, we're growing and developing, and it makes us feel good. And so tonight we are starting a series of Wellness Revolution, presenting information to you that hopefully you can see how this may fit in your life, or this information may help you with a friend or a family member as we're going through. So first and foremost, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. My name is Kelly Lepsha, and I'm a physical therapist by background, a wellness advocate. And tonight we have the pleasure of having an incredible dear friend of mine, first and foremost, Jill Werner, who's also a physical therapist or a physiotherapist, if you're tuning in from Canada. And she shares a passion for wellness like I do. And Jill, not only in her practice as a physical therapist, demonstrates wellness, but in every aspect of her life. So I couldn't think of a better person to come on tonight and educate us about really where are we taking a look at our resolutions for 2020, and maybe what are some simple strategies we haven't considered before, and maybe things are even easier than you think. So Jill, tell us a little bit more about yourself, and thank you so much for sharing tonight.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Kelly. And I thank you everybody for tuning in. This hopefully will give you some hope for achieving your New Year's resolutions or your New Year goals, new decade goals. How exciting, 2020. And so my background is, like Kelly said, I'm also a physiotherapist or physical therapist, and I work in the neuro world. So that means anything to do with the brain, Parkinson's, stroke, brain injury, along those lines. And Kelly knows this. We talk about this all the when we're talking to our patients, our family, is that when there is a brain injury or a stroke, the injury happens in the brain. It's not that the body part suddenly loses strength and stops moving, but that the damage is actually in the brain. And so I think that being focused on the brain my whole life has led me to where we are today, focusing on biohacking and overall wealth, and really seeing and embracing how everything in our body is connected. Our thoughts, what we put in, how much we're sleeping, how we're managing our stress, everything's connected and everything's talking to each other. And so I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And I think that we think that it's complicated and that we have to start the new year with, we're going to change everything. We're going to eat healthy. We're going to exercise. And we make a list of all these. We're going to meditate every day for half an hour and all these things that we're going to do. And that lasts for like a day or a week, maybe, if you're lucky, because we're trying to change too many things and we're trying to make too many big changes. And it's not realistic or sustainable because I'm reading a book called this will be very helpful. I'm reading a book called Atomic Habits, which completely fits in line with what we're talking about today, because we really are a series of habits. We want to take the path of least resistance. We want to do what's easiest. So we want to make these things that will help our health and help our life be the best life it can be easy. We want those positive things to be the path of least resistance. And there are ways to do that. And he really hits it home in Atomic Habits. It's a really great book. So I would highly recommend picking that up. I love this quote, and it just goes hand in hand with everything I'm reading and what we're talking about. But meaningful change does not require radical change. So you don't have to change your entire day. You don't have to get up at 5 o'clock every day and have 2 hours of a morning routine before you're getting ready for work. And you can't change everything at once. And actually, there are small things that we can do that will set us up for success. So, and I love this quote is from the book. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Isn't that great? So he talks about our default, like that we are led by our habits. We're led, a lot of the things that we do, most of the things that we do all day are actually automatic. And we don't even realize what the cue is that's making us choose the things that we choose. And think about when you walk into a dark room, what do you automatically do? You look for the light switch or flip the light switch on. The cue is that it's dark in the room and you want to hit the light switch. You do that without even thinking. And there's so many things that we do day to day that are automatic that we do without thinking. A lot of them have to do with our food choices or what time we go to bed or scrolling through our phones, so many different things, choosing to go to the gym or not go to the gym or go for a walk or work out. And so there are little things that we can do to set ourselves up for success. So do you want to be a healthy person? If every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become, then how about saying every time you're making a choice, what would a healthy person do? What would a healthy person do? What a healthy person, if you're looking at Dunkin' Donuts, if you asked yourself, what would a healthy person do? Would that help you to make that choice? What would a healthy person do? How about not even go near Dunkin' Donuts so that you're not even having to have that discussion with yourself? But these are just little things that you can do to set yourself up for success. And this really hit me in the solar plexus. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So our unconscious mind, that autopilot, all those habits that we just automatically do throughout the day, if we become conscious of what they are, then we can take control or direct, make the path a little easier. And what we really think now is that that's just our fate, that's just how it's meant to be. But there's all these little tiny things that we can do, little precursors that we can do to make it easier, to set ourselves up for success. What if it's you want to start going to the gym? Well, what if you bring your gym clothes with you? You're going to go after work. You bring your gym clothes with you and you pick a gym that's on the way home from work. So it's not that big a deviation and you have everything with you. Or what if you want to get up and start running in the morning? What if you have all your clothes laying right beside your bed so that as soon as you get up, it's right there. You can just throw your clothes on and run out the door. Giving yourself these little cues rather than saying, oh, I'm going to see how I feel in the morning. If I feel like going for a run, I'll go. You're not going to go. That's going to be the end of your streak. So when we're looking at making healthy changes, and this is a wellness webinar, so we're really looking at people that want to make healthy or changes around their health or make their lives a little healthier. So what are some areas that we can target to make these little changes in? So that's what we're going to get into. And I love, love, love this. Both of these ladies are 80 years old. How do you want to age? I look at that all the time. What would a healthy person do? A healthy person would make the choices the lady on the left is making, right? I want to age like that. So we also talk a lot about biohacking. So I'm just going to break this down because I feel like biohacking, what is that? It's an intimidating word, but it means to strategically change your internal and external environment to rapidly enhance your body, upgrade your brain, and create an epic life. It's the art and science of optimizing human performance. To create an epic life, you have to think that an epic life is possible for you, first of all. So do you think that that's possible? I hope so, because it's possible for all of us. When you look at the people that we think of as so successful, that are maybe on the stage or running seminars or writing books or living these epic lives, a lot of them came from really tough upbringings and really tough backgrounds, and they overcame them. So really, there's no secret they didn't have something handed to them. They just biohacked their life. They figured out ways to strategically change the internal and external environment, really, to upgrade their brain and create an epic life. It's possible for all of us. An epic life is possible for all of us. And that includes, and 100% includes, having a healthy life or being healthy. I'm going to focus on 4 areas that I think will have the biggest impact in your health. And this is the little teaser clue, but it's not actually rocket science. Sleep, how much you're sleeping, what you're eating or supplementing, how you're moving or how much you're moving, and what you're thinking. How much are your thoughts sabotaging what you're doing? The biggest distance we have to overcome is the 6 inches between our ears. That's what stops us the most or slows us down the most. And I threw this slide in here because I don't want you to think about your brain separate from your heart, separate from your stomach, separate from your muscles. It's all connected. Everything you do is connected. How much you're sleeping is affecting your digestion. It's actually affecting your hormones. You know that if you're not getting enough sleep, that you're going to be hungrier because the hormone that makes you hungry increases when you don't have enough sleep. Your stress hormones, your cortisol, can be increased at the wrong times during the day if you're not getting enough sleep. So everything's connected. What you're eating 100% is affecting everything else in your body. I love the example of, do you ever watch a scary movie and you have that fear in the pit of your stomach, or something happens and you have that like anxiety feeling in your stomach, those butterflies? Where did that feeling come from? It didn't really start in your stomach, right? You didn't just eat something that gave you butterflies. You were thinking about something or watching something that gave you that feeling of butterflies. So that's how strongly what we're thinking can affect our body. We feel that. We think it and we feel that in our stomach. And so do you think what we put in our stomach will affect how we're thinking or feeling? 100%. And so the first thing we're going to talk about is mindset, or what's happening in our mind. And again, that's that 6 inches between our ears, which can be our biggest obstacle or the longest distance that we have to go. And this is something that I have implemented into my life over the past few years, is this idea of gratitude, or upgrading my mindset. And what I do every morning now is, as soon as I get up, it's the first thing I do. I get up and I have my gratitude journal beside my bed. I actually go out of my bedroom, sit down at a kitchen table and chair, and write out 10 things that I'm grateful for. I intentionally get out of my bedroom because when I first started this practice, I was doing it in my bedroom and I was laying back down and falling asleep. So this is what you do. You change your environment to set yourself up for success. So now I always get out of my room, go downstairs, sit down and write out 10 things I'm grateful for. It puts me in a phenomenal mood at 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm still kind of dozy and half asleep. It's just a perfect way to I love this. Gratitude is the fertilizer for abundance. If we think about being grateful for even little things in our lives, things that the more you do it, the easier it becomes, the more things you see to be grateful for. So it can be at first, like I do remember at the beginning sitting down and like, okay, what happened yesterday? What can I be grateful for? But the more I do it, now I feel like I could write 50 things in the same amount of time. Just ideas are pouring into my head. So again, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. It started to become automatic for me. I even notice things now during the day, like, oh, I'm grateful for that. I'm going to put that on my list tomorrow. And it just puts you in a completely different frame of mind. Now, meditation is another way that you can change your mindset. I also have, this meditation probably over 5 or 6 years has taken me time, and I've started with some apps. I've taken class here and there. Now I use an app as well for meditation, but that's something you can try meditating for a minute a day as you're starting out with. You don't have to say, I'm going to meditate for half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening. Say, I'm going to meditate for a minute a day. And really the idea of we create our reality. And that stress and anxiety, if we're not managing it, if we're not coming from that grateful or place of gratitude, then we are creating physical symptoms in our body. So that idea of thinking in your mind about something scary and getting that fear and anxiety feeling in the pit of your stomach, that's also creating over time dis-ease. So that unease in your body, and that will manifest itself into a rash or a disease or many, many different things, but it will manifest itself eventually over time. If your body's always in that state, it will manifest itself into physical symptoms.
That's amazing, Jill. And gosh, before you jump right into sleep, you guys, I'm just going to add that I too, once upon a time, actually, maybe some of you are thinking like, oh my gosh, meditation, that's kind of like woo woo or out there. I mean, today everybody's talking about it. You can't listen to some of the top people out there in our world and society that aren't doing it. And there's actually science to prove it, which is really cool. But I will say the biggest thing for myself, and I think you guys also will find this in your practice, is if you choose to start one, that it is allowing me throughout the rest of my day to be so much more present. And therefore, if I'm present in whatever activity, I'm more productive. I'm actually getting more connected with that person or what I'm doing. I'm getting a greater understanding. So I'm so much more productive throughout the day. And I'm so much more present in the activities throughout the day because it teaches you to help let the distractions stay at bay, because our world is really bombarding all of us. And those distractions are also exactly what Jill said, is building this anxiety and uneasiness, that's this dis-ease that over time, you guys, it's just a balance, right? And you tip that scale of dis-ease and eventually, right, you're going to end up with some disease. And so ultimately we're here today to learn about these small things Jill is sharing with us, that absolutely small changes over time, especially stacking these small changes, can truly revolutionize your health and your life. So thank you, Jill.
Exactly. I always have the discussion, like when people talk about, oh, I was just diagnosed with diabetes, say. It's like diabetes didn't just happen overnight. It wasn't something that you just did that gave you diabetes. That is a series of choices over a lifetime that creates the perfect environment or wearing down your system to get diabetes. The only reason you're diagnosed at that point is because that's where our medical testing is as far as sensitivity for being able to diagnose that disease. So you're creating or working on that disease for 30 years before you're diagnosed. And that's the same with many, many diseases out there, all the chronic diseases that are out there. So let's go on to sleep, blue light, computers, telephones, putting our screens down. So some really simple sleep things that we can do: put your screen down at least an hour before you go to bed. If not, get blue light blocking glasses. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them on True Dark is one of the brands. There's multiple brands out there. Another thing that you can do in your bedroom is cool temperatures. Turn down the thermostat at night. There's something called a chili pad that you can put underneath your mat, underneath your sheets to take your body temperature down. But cool temperatures are most ideal for sleeping. Make sure your room is black, pitch black. Put dark out curtains on, because any ambient light is affecting your sleep, even though you don't realize it. And then as the evening is getting closer to your bedtime, start to dim the lights. Don't have the lights around your living room or your bedroom bright, bright, bright. Start to dim them, because that's a part of your natural circadian rhythm. It's actually even affecting your hormones again. I'll just say hormones rule the world inside our bodies. And they all affect each other and they all influence each other. So when one's out of whack, something else is probably out of whack. But if you're dimming your lights, if you're turning off your blue screens or putting on the blue light blocking glasses, you're helping your hormones, the ones that are supposed to increase at night and the ones that are supposed to decrease at night, you're helping that happen. If you're not doing that, then cortisol can be high at night. That's not supposed to be high at night. That's supposed to be high in the morning. That's what wakes you up. And melatonin will be low, and you want melatonin to be high because that's what helps you sleep. So those are 4 really easy things that you can do. You can put timers on your phone to remind you to turn it off. There's lots of little things you can do. You can set your thermostat on a program so it starts to turn down at, say, 6 or 7 o'clock at night to bring the temperature down a little bit. And then blackout curtains. Blackout curtains are amazing. I love them. I love having my room pitch black. All right, the next, I like this. Really defend that last hour before bed. So really try to be vigilant about this. Don't eat 3 hours before bed. You can meditate or do something that's bringing you a little more peace in your mind. The blackout curtains and no screens. Oops. Sorry about that. Sorry, I should have put my computer on. Blackout. All right. So the next one is movement. I love this. Refusing to go to the gym is not the same as resistance training. So we hear a lot. I'm not going to talk too much about exercise and what exercise to do because it's different for everybody. It's different on your age. It's different about regarding your injuries, on your body type, multiple things that are going on in your body. If you need to use a coach, hire a coach, go to a gym class. If you just want to walk outside, put your running shoes on and walk out the front door. The most important thing is that you're moving. It's not that you're doing a HIIT workout 5 days a week or that you're resistance training every day. A lot of people are overdoing it in the exercise department. And then they're overdoing it at the gym, and then they're going and sitting in an office on a chair all day. And going to the gym for an hour in the morning is not going to counteract sitting on your butt all day. You need to get up during the day and move around. That's way more important. Standing up beside your desk if you need to and doing some squats or some heel raises is much more important than getting to the gym every day. You just need to be moving. We're supposed to be moving. It's good for our body. It's good for our joints. Movement of your joints actually helps your joints to make more joint fluid, so it lubricates them, keeps your muscles active. You just want to be moving as much as possible. And then, of course, food. So where do we start on food? Eat things that grow. Eat lots of plants. Eat things that grow on trees, things that grow on the ground, but eat lots of fruits and vegetables, lots of healthy fats, and then really think about impeccably sourced proteins. If you are choosing to be a vegan, fine, but look at the protein powders you're picking and make sure they're not contaminated with fertilizers and heavy metals and things like that. If you're eating meat or you're trying to do a keto diet is lots of vegetables still, lots of green leafy vegetables. It is not all bacon and cheese. And in fact, that's not what I'm promoting. So you want to make sure that you're eating lots of plants. It doesn't matter what diet you're on, whether it's vegan, vegetarian, keto, paleo, whatever, lots of vegetables. And then look at the fats that you're eating, because I'll just say this about the brain, because the brain is so important to all of us, but particularly in the work that I do. Our brain cells, the wrapping on our brain cells is mostly omega-3 oils, but it's fat. The wrapping, think of it as, I hate to say candy wrapper, but a candy wrapper around every cell in our brain is made of fat. And that fat allows the good and bad to come and go within the cell. If you're choosing canola oils, vegetable oils, really crappy low quality fats, because those are all really crappy low quality fats, then you are hurting your brain cells. You're letting stuff in that your brain cell doesn't really want to get in, and you're not letting some of the garbage or toxins that are inside the cell out, because the gatekeeper are those unhealthy fats they're just really poor quality. You want to have avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, grass-fed butter or grass-fed ghee. Those are all really healthy fats. No vegetable oils. I'm just going to say, I almost think it's worse than sugar, although sugar is very, very, very bad as well. But no vegetable oils, no canola oils, no even seed oils, even sunflower seeds and all those other kinds of oils. No, they're not quite as bad as vegetable oils, but there's no need. Just buy some coconut oil and olive oil, you're good to go. Sugar. Okay. Sugar is in everything. So if you're buying processed foods, then you're probably getting too much sugar and too much salt. Salt's not bad. It's just that salt's in everything processed. So if you're cooking and making lots of vegetables and healthy proteins, you can put salt on it. That's totally fine because there's no added salt in broccoli until you add it. So the last thing that we'll focus on here is really that you can change to improve your health is your diet. And now, no matter what, we are very much bombarded in our day-to-day, and our food supplies are bombarded by a lot of toxins in the air, whether it's car pollution, factory pollution, heavy metals, spraying fertilizers, whatever. So we do need, while we're getting the best that we can as far as nutrients, if we're having a heavy plant-based diet with impeccably sourced proteins and healthy fats, you still are going to need to supplement because we just truly are not getting the nutrition or the nutrients in our food these days that we did probably 100 years ago. So you are going to need to look at supplementing. But again, you can work with your doctor or a naturopath and look at what's best for you. I'm going to make a few what I think are basic recommendations. So this is where what I said about our healthy diet, primarily plant-based, healthy fats, moderate amount of impeccably sourced proteins, and then utilizing supplements for all the stuff that's missing. And what I think is essential for supplementation, and we want to think about what we can do is actually activate our bodies. We can activate certain pathways in our body that are going to help our body to work the way they're designed. Our bodies are very well designed, and we just want to give them the tools to do what they're meant to do. So there's something called an NRF2 pathway, an NRF1 pathway, and an NAD pathway that I don't even want to take you back to the Krebs cycle in grade 9 science, but NAD is a big part of that. But these are all essential for activating our body. So activating that NRF2 pathway is going to help to reduce inflammation. That is an underlying factor in everything. I mean, that inflammation goes back to our mindset and that dis-ease. It goes back to not moving our body. It goes back to not getting enough sleep. It goes back to eating bad vegetable oils. So we want to make sure we're giving our body the tools to reduce that inflammation. So that's activating our NRF2 pathway, reversing aging. This is a really exciting one and a really new area of study, but that's NAD. And again, that's back to grade 9 science and the Krebs cycle. Oh, we won't dive too deeply into that. And then our mitochondria make our energy. So we want to make sure they're as healthy as possible because we want healthy mitochondria. We want lots of energy. What in our body uses the most energy? Our brain and our heart. But our brain and our heart are the number one. Brain is number one. So we want lots of healthy mitochondria in our brain, and then balancing our gut with a probiotic and a prebiotic, omega fish oil. We do not get enough omega fish oil. Like I talked about, it is a huge part of the cell membrane, particularly in our brain cells, and then vitamin D. So I talked about hormones rule the world. Vitamin D actually acts as a hormone in our body and has a huge influence on our other hormones. Did you want to add anything about this?
No, you guys, I really just want you, Jill is giving you this, NRF1, NAD, NRF2. Don't get caught up in any of that. We'll talk more if you want more information. Please reach out to whoever really invited you. to start understanding this, because this is a whole new field of what we call nutrigenomics, and using nutrition, plant-based supplements to literally get your own body to perform how it used to when you were young and optimize your health. So we'll give you guys more information, but I did want to say, as far as energy and mitochondrial health, most of the times people think about energy and they just think about like, oh my gosh, like this sort of energy, like wired energy. But we're talking about total cellular health. So every single part of your body, every single system of your body needs energy to perform its job. Your cells need energy to communicate to each other. And so we're talking about energy from that level, the basic cellular level in our body to feel your best. Is each cell, each organ system needs to have the energy to do its job. And that's what we're talking about. So if you feel brain fog, sluggish, not your best, just overall, lethargy, fatigue, chances are your mitochondria may not be working well. So that's the kind of energy that we're really talking about here. And believe me, once you can upregulate your mitochondria, you'll be sleeping better, having overall, yes, more excited energy as well. But in general, your whole body will start optimizing.
Fantastic. And I'll just go back to how to create a good habit. You want to make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy. I have notes. And make it satisfying. So making it obvious is doing something like leaving your workout clothes out right beside your bed so that as soon as you wake up, you see them right there. Making it attractive. While working out is how you feel. You have to maybe think about how you feel, but you can attach it to like a reward. So when I get home from the gym, I'm going to have like a big cup of coffee or some scrambled eggs. So you can make it attractive because you're attaching it to something that you really enjoy. So it's like the reward. So you're attaching a reward to it. And then making it easy. So that's just cutting out some of the friction that might be in your way for getting done what you want to get done. And then making it satisfying. And that he talks about, again, just stacking and giving yourself that immediate reward or immediate win once you complete your habit. I just looked at the time. It's 8:30. So I want to stick to our 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Well, listen, you could truly just pick one of those 4 things to start focusing on, because like Jill said in the very beginning, I know if I bite off too much at once, then nothing happens. And how many of us out there have had like resolutions or goals that are so lofty? Yeah, right. And before you know it, kaput, it's totally gone. So take this information to heart. Like, what is the number one thing that you want to change? And in that, what baby step could you take to implement that new habit? Whether it's closing your screens. For me, I literally took all the bad oils out of my house. So if they're not even there, we cannot even use them. Sometimes my kids are like freaking out. They're trying to bake a cake and there's no vegetable oil. I'm like, guess what? We use other things instead. So making those small habits, just pick 1 or 2 to start with. And once you see how easy that is, you can add from there. But honestly, if you look at these 4 components and make just a small change in each, you might not feel a difference right in one day, Jill, maybe a week or maybe a month. But I promise you, in 3 to 6 months, a year down the line, you will be amazed at the quality of how you feel from making those small changes.
Exactly. I just was looking at my last slide, which I didn't share with you, but it's really just like keeping it simple. And these are the simple things that we can do. Eat an anti-inflammatory diet. That's just fruits and vegetables, healthy fats, impeccably sourced protein. Take your activators and your supplements. Get enough sleep. Manage your stress, your gratitude, your mindset, and move your body. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't come up with a 60-step plan. It needs to be 1 step.
Oh my God. It's amazing, you guys. I hope you all got tremendous value. And if you want any more information, please whoever invited you to this webinar in the event, you certainly can chat. We can get you information outside the event. Reach out to that person to get more information if you want the replay, if you want to share this with other people. If there was an aspect of it that you want more information, like maybe you don't feel comfortable with exercise and really have some questions, we're definitely here to help. If you have more questions about an anti-inflammatory diet or how to activate your NRF2 pathway, we're here to help. So please be sure to reach out to whoever invited you to take a look at this information. It's really something for Jill and I and many of us that we want to make 2020 for all of you as healthy and simple and making you feel the best vitality of your ultimate self. Jill, thank you so much for being on tonight. It's a privilege and a pleasure always. I love you so much. I hope all of you guys got some valuable information today. And if any of you have questions, please feel free to reach out. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Kelly.